Hey friends, welcome back to the Life of a Makeup Artist podcast. Now, I am super excited for today's episode because we have not one, not two, but three amazing artists in the building. Now, I actually did this back in 2019 with Mimi Kakeen, Alana Wright Palau, and Fatima Isadair, and it was such a great episode. And I find that a lot of people ask me for advice on things that I just don't have experience with. So today we have an artist that is in TV and film, one that does celebrity music videos, and one that is a expert in bridal makeup and quite a few other things. But before we get into it, let's introduce our guest for today. Let's start with you, Pear. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing so good.
So, my name is Pierre Varnado. I am the makeup artist that work in television and film. I do sports as well, news, and I also work in episodics. Some of the episodics I've worked on is Power Book Ghosts, Power Book Raising Canaan, and Just Like That, just to name a few. And for sports, I work for Maria Taylor on Football Night in America on NBC.
I get so much I can't remember. Molly. I'm Molly Gloss.
I'm the Molly Gloss, I guess. I'm Molly. I'm a makeup artist. I think we said that. I work in fashion space, beauty space, music space a lot, and I do a lot of sport clients as well. I've been working with Nike for about 7 years. I work with musicians like JT from the City Girls. I've worked with Megan Thee Stallion. I've worked with a bunch of the indie girls. A lot of, I've been around.
Molly's that girl.
I've been around. I just like to have a little fun with it.
I love this. And Molly also, you're in New Wave. Is it New Wave Creatives?
Yeah. I won the the British Fashion Council New Wave Creatives for this past year.
Yes.
So I'm just
mention it, but I will.
My reign is almost over. They've just started sending out, winners for this current year. So,
I think your reign is just beginning.
I don't think your reign is ever over.
Anya.
Hi, I'm Anya. I go by Anya the Glam Beast. I do bridal mostly, but I'm also Lil Bay's assistant on set.
Anya helps me a lot.
A lot. I'm like her right hand, which I love. So I do mostly bridal, doing clean skin and beauty. And then on set, I've worked with Hyperskin, Sephora, and Milani, to name a few.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so before because I have a lot of questions, right? Before we go into it, I know there's been a lot happening just, with the industry, TV and film and all of that. How are you guys doing? Like, how is your mental? Okay, you want to start?
For me, mentally, I am balanced. I am good. Peace. I'm at peace. And how can I say relaxed without saying relax? I'm going to say relaxed.
Cruising.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Mom?
I'm good. I feel like across the board this past year has been really slow for all of us, kind of whether it's fashion or TV, obviously everything that's going on with Hollywood with this strike. But lately, and I definitely was feeling that the most of this year, and I'm still building back from taking time off around the pandemic as well, but the past 2 months I've been really steady and really busy, so I'm trying to kind of keep that energy going and keeping myself busy, planning more tasks. The more I sit around, the more I sit around.
Right.
If I keep myself engaged and in tune with my work and what's inspiring me and what I have going on, I tend to feel a lot better. So I feel like I've been feeling pretty good. I've been feeling a lot better the past 2 months than the overall financial dread of the past year. Yeah.
What about you, Anya?
I'm good. I wouldn't say balanced yet, but I feel great. I think I've actually worked more this year than I have in the past, and I've kind of diversified myself a little bit. So I also do lash extension. So when work is down, I do that, and then I have 7,000 children. So I don't think I'll ever be balanced until they're all okay.
Right. We'll get into that. It's not 7,000. Okay, I actually wanted to break up the topics. So I just want to get right into it, to be honest.
Before we get into it, can you tell us how you're doing?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm good. I feel like I had a moment this week where I was just like over everything. And you know when you have a lot to do and you just don't do anything?
Yeah.
I am watching
Yes.
Raising Kanan. Literally, I just got into the show. And it's so nice to watch shows where you know your friends are on. But I just
You're
got
like
into
so much
it.
more engaged.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, but the girls look good.
Yeah.
So, I was just like, I'm just gonna watch Raising Kanan and relax. But now I had a moment for myself, and I'm actually going to Italy and Paris next week.
Oh.
Not work related, so it's
Period.
just like,
Just for fun.
this is like the reset that I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been to Paris
Yeah.
once for my birthday, and then all the other times with Paris Fashion Week.
So
So I was
work.
like, you know what? Yeah, like let's book you a cute hotel.
Yeah.
I love that.
Airbnb,
Especially
you
like
know?
I think we're still coming down from Fashion Week as
Yeah.
well, and kind of. I know it definitely took me like over a week of just like hardcore being at home, deep cleaning my house to even feel a little bit reset.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
deserve.
So that's my reset for the rest of the year, and I'm a Capricorn baby like Pierre. So, I need a little woosah before
Yes.
the new year starts.
Period.
Okay, so I want to know this because I feel like I think they're doing a little bit much right now. What are you guys' thoughts on the current makeup trends? Like there's cherry cola, there's
Yeah.
strawberry brownie,
Blueberry milk,
blueberry
latte
milk,
makeup,
and
tomato
my thing
girl
is like, what
summer.
about like the give me gluten-free bagel makeup, give me steak and eggs, like give me something else.
Like if
so
we're gonna do it,
who's
let's
making
do
it up? Who's the committee that is making this stuff up? So I actually want to know you guys'
Yeah.
thoughts.
I
Feel
have
free
so
to-
many thoughts.
Please tell me.
Okay, first of all, I think it's one of those things where some random person on TikTok will just be like, this is this thing that I decided that I did today and I'm going to give it a name. And then for some reason that person, it just takes off. And then you know what it really is? It's the beauty magazines and the articles in media that then make it a thing.
Right.
Yes.
When they're
Yeah.
like, okay, like this is the new, I think you've probably gotten emails before from, hi, I'm such and such at Allure. Hi, I'm this person. I'd love a few quotes about
Right.
this new trend. And it's wild. There's so many things here. First of all, latte makeup. I think you maybe saw this on my story. I was like, girls, you're just wearing browns. It's browns.
Right.
It's a nude look.
Brown
It's
smoky.
browns.
But
Blueberry
low-key,
milk. It's just light blue.
I did an espresso makeup because I was like, oh, that's what y'all. Okay, I guess this
Yeah.
is what we're doing. For the fun of it. you
Yeah.
I
know?
think on the one hand, it's not that deep. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's really not that deep, and I'm not gonna like really get mad about it. But then when I see it constantly, like cinnamon hair, I'm just like,
All right.
all right,
where
can
do
we
we
just
stop?
can
Yeah.
we just call
think-
something what it is?
Yeah, and I think also too, it's like these things have existed in makeup for a very long time.
Yeah.
Combinations of things, but
Yeah.
then the attachment of that thing to a particular person or particular group of people, you're just like. "Mm."
Yeah, and
But I also think people having fun on TikTok, and
Yeah.
that's the machine, right? You're
Right.
supposed
Yeah.
to create things that are fun and trendy. So having fun is one thing, but I don't know.
I think it's a lot of it has to do with like beauty media as well, being like, how do we monetize?
Yes.
Right.
What's going
Yes.
on online? Like, how
Yeah.
do we turn this into a trend that people buy into?
Right.
How do we make this an official thing so people will go and buy more makeup?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Perry?
I mean,
Have you ever had somebody ask you for
No.
espresso makeup?
No.
Cooler lips.
no, because I will let them know that's not my brand. I'm not the girl for you. Now, if you want smoky, we can go there. That's the verbiage that I prefer to use.
Right.
But honestly, I think it's more so for fun. But I do agree that once these beauty editors and big brands try to like monetize off it, then it's like you're taking the fun out of it, you know,
Right.
because clearly it was made from someone on TikTok and,
Right.
the trend was to follow. And also it reminded me of the pandemic, how
Right.
all of those different, trends were coming out
Challenges.
and
Yeah.
challenges. So I was just like, oh, okay, and some of the looks, I'm like, oh, this cute. I'm gonna try this on my client. I'm not gonna call it latte, but
Right.
we're gonna do a light smoky
Right.
situation. So I'm not mad at it. I just think that the fun is taken out of it when it's being monetized.
Right. That's true. I saw a video recently of pumpkin spice makeup, and I was like,
No.
I don't even like pumpkin spice, but I was like, orange on brown skin, like I might do it.
Well, like, but that's what it is.
That's
It's
orange
orange
on
brown
skin.
skin.
Right.
You're not
Brown
being like,
skin.
I'm doing one time I had a beauty editor, and this was like during the pandemic, and so mentally I was already I'd lost a few screws already. But I remember there was a beauty editor that emailed me about a few quotes during the pandemic about dolphin skin and about the dolphin skin trend.
What is that?
I was okay. All right. I was about
Thank
to.
you. This email and being asked these questions, I went into hysterics. I called one of my makeup friends, Michael, God bless, hi Michael, the Brooks brother, and we like had like a hysterical mental breakdown about the idea of dolphin skin. Because it just seems so like...
What does it mean? Like
What-
glass?
It's basically
like
just
glass
another
glass
name for
skin?
glass skin.
Oh.
It's super, super dewy, hydrated.
like slick. Boom.
Slick, yeah. But I was just... I don't know. For some reason, where I was mentally, I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I can't do
Just,
this.
like,
I was
wrap it
a
up,
dolphin
flatline.
skin.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
What does that mean?
I know there's fun in it, but I think what happens, especially because my social media is really just me educating. I think it confuses the consumer.
Yes.
Because there's too many things to follow, and it's
Yeah.
just like, all right, can we just chill for a little bit?
It's so oversaturated, and I am never surprised or like judgmental of friends who, we all have friends who are like, oh, ask us about makeup, yada yada, and they're like,
Right.
I just don't know what I'm doing. There's so there's so much now, and so many different people telling you
Right.
different way to do things, whether they're actually educated or not.
Yeah.
Right.
And even me, as someone who is an expert, who's been doing this for 15 years, even I get overwhelmed when I'm
Yes.
looking at the amount of new products, the amount of education, the amount
Right.
of opposing voices. It's a lot.
Yeah.
No, I
Right.
agree, especially
Now-
new products.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about new products, we as pros, we just want what works. I honestly, sometimes I don't care if it's coming from the drugstore, if it's coming from Nordstrom. Like, I just want what works. What are you guys' thoughts on celebrity beauty brands?
So I'll say
Some
this.
have been done
Yeah.
really well.
Right.
A few.
Uh-huh.
A couple.
Like two.
A few.
I'm trying to think of what celebrity did Rihanna.
Right.
Right.
I think she did it right.
I actually like Gwen Stefani's line too, and I'll say it because of this. Just because of this.
I never tried it.
Just because of this. When you see a celebrity that I was really young when she came out, and she
Yeah.
was like, everything that I want to be, rebel.
Same.
She right
I was obsessed with her.
obsessed,
Same.
and she expressed herself through her gems, her liners, her lips, and I was like, mentally when she came out with the line, I was like, oh, this makes sense because she's showing this. Like I know that she's into this stuff. But then you'll see a celebrity that you have no clue they're even interested in skin or makeup or anything, and it's like boom.
Skincare too.
Right.
Like when
Sometimes, honestly, it sometimes just
Yeah.
automatically makes me disinterested.
Right.
I'm like,
For sure.
oh,
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
trying
say
that.
Scarlett Johansson coming out with a skincare line. No shade to Scarlett Johansson, but I don't get the connection. It seems like a money grab. It seems like this is what's popular right now.
Right.
Right.
But what I don't understand is like when I was coming up, people were doing like celebrities would have a fragrance. It was like a
It's like
one
the
and
new
done.
thing.
Maybe you would do like a couple extra ones. You'd have your lotions.
Yeah.
Easy. And now they feel like they should enter into this industry that is, again, oversaturated, overpopulated, and the beauty industry is so hard financially because you have to constantly be coming out with new things. There's so many different SKUs. There's so much competition. So I don't really get the investment, and we've seen companies do it and do it badly. Even if you think about like House Labs' first iteration, the first version of House Labs was not good.
Right.
Now it's really good.
Right.
But
Yeah.
But I think what happens is that when they really integrate their artists to help them, because artist
Right.
brands, I'm like, I would go out of my way to support an
Yes.
artist brand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. My kit, if I think about it, especially for my personal client, is about 50% of an artist.
Right. Danessa,
Brand.
Mario, like Katie
Pat,
J. Hughes now,
yes,
Pat. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you already know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
need to,
See if this works.
yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I already know.
Yeah.
I agree.
So what is one thing you think about this industry? And it doesn't have to be related. Oh, and by the way, the outset there stuff is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I haven't
forgot to
tried
tell
it.
you.
No. It's just one of those things where if I don't see the connection and it doesn't make sense to me, it like
It
you were
doesn't
saying,
click. Yeah.
it doesn't make me want to engage. If anything, it makes me want to disengage.
Yeah,
Right.
mentally you're
Yeah.
like,
Not
Yeah.
me.
Just I don't want to be shady, but me and Pierre was watching an ad for a celebrity skincare line, and I think what's missing, and I'm sure somebody's gonna listen to this, and I hope they take this away. I don't know who was on set with them, but it was a skincare thing, and there was something in the photo just threw the photo off. So I think it's just like you said, it's kind of a grab sometimes where they're not thinking about the brand as a vision. Just because this person is a celebrity, you can't just put them in front of the camera and then boom, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You still need an art director, babe.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Absolutely.
need somebody to tell you that picture is not good.
Yeah.
Because what are you selling? Because I can't look at anything but that thing that looks horrible.
It's
so
distracting.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
distracting.
No,
so
for
like,
sure.
who do we feel like has done it well? I feel like Halsey with About Face.
oh yeah,
Amazing. Obviously, Rare Beauty is
Rare Beauty,
such a
yes.
smash.
Yes.
Fenty.
And I really like that
Fenty,
Rare Beauty
yeah.
isn't, or same thing with About Face. It's not about the celebrity in the name or outright. Like these are brands that can grow beyond, that aren't
Yeah.
just about Selena Gomez,
Right.
aren't just about Halsey. Like they've done their own job to like build a brand, education, and a community aside from that celebrity.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And I love the initiatives that they do.
Yeah.
You know, the mental health, and you know, they really go out of their way to make sure that their community is like good. But okay, so moving forward, what's one thing that you think about the industry that you don't often say out loud? And I'll go first. This doesn't have to be celebrity, brand, or whatever. But as a creator, you guys know I create content and I'm on set and all these things. Not everything is content. I have to say this. Not everything is content. Not every opportunity, not every client. You have to have some type of discernment, discretion, because not everything is to be recorded. Like sometimes you're just gonna have to do the client and go home.
Go home. Yeah.
Not
Even
everything's
wash your
about
brushes.
you.
And wash your brushes.
And wash your brushes. But yeah, not everything is about you. And if I'm someone who films not as much as I should because I'm so like, I would be bothered if I were the client and someone that I hired was just like, oh, this is also just like a content opportunity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be cool with
Right.
that. I want my privacy. For me, I think so many people are on camera all the time that's like, that's not what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
then again,
Private time.
but then
Especially
again,
with hair and makeup.
that's something that I need to be better at, and I see people doing that, connecting with their clients and having fun with it. And I'm like, oh wow, it's really not that deep.
Right. I think it's a matter of like communicating. Maybe if it's
Yeah.
the first time, I'm not gonna be like
No.
setting up the tripod in the corner, you know. But communication, I think maybe after you get cool with them, or you know. But sometimes I just like we just did a campaign and I had my tripod doing BTS, but I can't concentrate on
On
that.
it,
I'm
yeah.
just like, all right, it'll record it. You know, it's a lot.
It's
you
a
know?
second job.
It's a
I think
second
that's
job.
another reason why I struggle with like BTS and content because when I'm on set, I'm doing the job.
Yes.
I'm not thinking about additional work for me to do, and maybe I should be, but I'm focused on the job at hand. What we do is already such our brains are already going in 8 different directions between how many talents we have, managing assistants,
Right.
the actual makeup and the job at hand, handling client, who knows.
Right.
So for me to be like, oh, I should also like stop and go and take care of the I'm lazy.
Right?
Yeah,
Is
no.
there anything else that you don't often say out loud that you think?
Instagram makeup is not the standard. And when I say Instagram makeup, I'm talking about like extremely beat to the gods. Everybody don't do that. Everybody doesn't want to wear that. So if you get a client and you happen to be that makeup artist that does the Instagram makeup and they don't like it, don't feel bad. That's just not their style. For me, can I do it? Yes. Do I prefer to do it? No. I prefer that if I'm going to do your face, that if Vogue or whomever call you today or tomorrow and you still have that face on, you can be on the front cover with that face. However, for TV, obviously I have to bump it up a little bit more, but I'm not into the sculpted brows and all of that stuff. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
just sketch ones.
Yeah, I'm
I feel
sorry.
the same way. Like I can do it if that's what my client wants
Yeah.
and needs and only feels comfortable with, but I don't want to.
Yes.
I'm like, why is there so much powder?
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
We talked
Girl,
about
why-
this.
Girl, why are
Why
you
is
asking
it-
me to bake
It's
with
so
Laura
much-
Mercier translucent powder?
guys so much.
so
But
much.
also it probably
Deep
goes
skin.
back to what you always saying about education, right? When you learn from Instagram and you don't know a reference point, you'll be like, oh, now you're supposed to bake
Yes.
and leave me here for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Instead of
Everything on in that side is so homogenous now. Like they're all doing not there like it's a conspiracy, but it's a lot of the same makeup. It's a cut crease with a cat eye, a sculpted brow,
Yeah.
contour paint by numbers under. It's a lot of the same thing to all look the same way, and I think that for me is the hard part where it's not about the technique and understanding why we're doing the technique and what's the goal and why does this work or not work for me. It's just like exact replica without
That's what it
theory.
is. Yeah, because I mean, I don't want this to come off of like, oh, we're haters. And no,
Yeah.
it's not
No.
that at all.
I think
like
it's
we
beautiful.
could do it.
Yeah,
We-
I think it's
exactly.
beautiful.
But
I
it's,
envy
it's
it.
not it's
I
not paint by
can't do it.
numbers.
Yeah, no.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like
Yeah.
Some of my glam friends, I'm like, I wish I could glam like
We
that.
talk about
yeah.
all this all the time. Like,
It's like-
but I
So
can't. I
like
can't
this
do
like
it.
really clean, beautiful, soft glam beats, like not the Instagrammy, but like that for me, that's like a goal of that is such a skill set in its own way to
Yes.
make things be that beautiful and that glam, but
And
also
still
still soft.
Yes.
yeah.
God bless. I think I'm a little too heavy-handed at times,
Yeah.
just because I like a little bit more of like a grungy look, maybe.
Mm.
But
That's fine.
I aspire, because like then I'm like, wow, I could be so beautiful.
You look cute.
It's really all for women. One thing that I would share about the industry that I don't talk about a lot or that I feel like is not talked about is, and look at me, editorial and fashion is not the goal. You are never going to make a living for yourself if you choose fashion and editorial.
Yeah.
And I do not think people realize that. I see artists wanting to be editorial or editorial style artists online, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. We all want to do crazy cool stuff, but know that when it comes to the literal trade of fashion, editorials, magazines, there's no money. There's no money. We do not get paid. I can do a Vogue cover. I do not get paid. I can do, people don't believe me when I tell them, but when I tell you, if you want to have a solid financial career, because this is something that we spend so much money on, the costs are so high, you need to go after jobs with a budget. That is one of the biggest like soapboxes that I think that I would have wanted to hear when I was younger, because I was at fashion was the goal.
Right.
Fashion was the goal. It was the most elite, the most elevated, and like, sure, I'm here in some parts of it, but the reality versus the dream is just two very different things. And I just want younger artists who haven't had experience on set yet, or who might be in a different market, who are looking at New York or looking at LA. I just want you to understand that, like, do headshots, do bridal, do commercial, get union, diversify your work as much as you can so that you can still do fashion and editorial, but you're not going to affect your bottom line for it. So just know that financially, that is not a goal that you should be reaching towards for. Like, fashion isn't going to pay your bills by itself.
I support this message 100%.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needed to be said.
Pierre
for
almost
sure.
got up and did a praise dance because
Well, I just
the
think
truth.
they
No,
just
it's
don't
really the
know.
truth.
And I think the same thing. We all looked at magazines growing up, and I think financially we're at a point now that, you know, I'm 33. The career in this industry that I've been chasing since I was a teenager, in the time that I actually got here, no longer exists. The financial infrastructure that supported all of us the way it used to in fashion through print advertising and things like that, it no longer exists.
Yeah.
The financial infrastructure just isn't there in fashion anymore.
Right.
So, you know, they're not making any money. It's advertorials. It's all coming from clients. So just, you know, it's not that I don't want anyone to do fashion work. I think it's the most fun. That's obviously where I thrive. But it has been a very hard lesson to learn that, like, the thing that I idolized wasn't actually going to take care of my bills or allow me to continue to work in the space
Right.
if
Yeah.
I just did that.
Right.
No.
So,
Or
Exactly.
just live.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth. And I mean, that's why I had to step away because, at the end of the day, we're getting older and you
got rent to pay.
and you need cheese.
Think
for
about
your
retiring.
egg.
I think about retiring all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eggs is $20. We
Eggs is $20.
Eggs is
It's
expensive.
too, yeah. You
What
can't
is
come-
$20?
Eggs.
Oh yes.
Eggs are expensive.
Yeah, we buy
It's just,
eggs. I'm like,
especially coming here, this is one of the most expensive cities in the
For sure.
world. The cost of living keeps getting higher and higher, and our rates keep getting lower and lower, especially
Yes.
for those really sought after, like, ooh, I want those jobs. So I just, if I can help change, like, the exploitation that exists with getting young artists and to getting younger people without financial means to be a part of the fashion machine, so that it can keep running. Like, I just want people to know that it's not. I want to demystify it a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah. Because imagine your goal was to, I want my makeup in a low one day. A low don't even have print no more.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but thank you for saying that because it needed to be said. Okay,
sure.
so have you guys ever had, which I'm sure you had, a client that was hard to please, and how did you deal with it? Because you're with celebrity, you've worked with brides, like sometimes you kind of have to, and just but I kind of want to hear, you don't have to call no names, but I would love to hear how you've dealt with it.
I'm trying to think because throughout my career, for the most part, I've been blessed with pretty easygoing people. I will say, at one point I did do bridal, and I stopped.
And I stopped.
Because I think that day is such a emotional driven day, and then you have clients that have emotional driven people around them. So in trying to balance the bride's emotions, then you have the mom or the sister coming in like, oh well.
Right.
For me, when a client was a little bit difficult, I did ask her if she would show me what she's wanting. In so many words, do your own makeup, and I'll fix it
Right.
where I see fit. And then she kind of slowly came down because she realized, like, oh no, she's really now agitated. And this was after, like, you're there all day, so
Right.
this was after hours and hours of just drama. So I'm just like, show me what you're looking for, because unfortunately I'm not able to provide what you're looking for, so just show it to me. And eventually it changed. And I also made her put her family out of the room because I told her that unfortunately I cannot work in this type of environment, and if they are not removed, then I will remove myself.
Doro. Okay. I think she hit
I
the
like
nail
that.
on the head with the it being an emotional day, but I also think it's managing expectations. So a lot of it is communication too. Like in trials, the buffer for bridal artists isn't a trial. You can sit there for however long,
Right.
and you go back and forth, and you bring the inspiration pictures, and then you have to let them know, okay, this is this person, but these are your features,
Right.
and this is what's achievable. I think on that day you tend to sometimes see, I've been blessed with amazing people too, but there have been one or two, and on the day you see a different side of the person than from the trial. And I find a lot of times too it would be the moms and not necessarily the brides that
It's never the bride.
engineer the day, to go a particular way. And sometimes you could be patient and you work with them, and then other times you just have to go.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Mom?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it can be tough. I still do brides by referral. So I did one last weekend. But I feel like because it's by referral, it tends to be like people that are cool and a little bit more chill and not as like, but it's never the bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rarely the bride that's ever an issue. It's always
Right.
family, bridesmaids, whomever. But I would say for me, not in a bridal way, but working with celebrities or people that are doing performances, people that are doing red carpet, people that are doing a music video, it's a lot of pressure because not only do you have the pressure of them wanting to feel good, but they also need to look good and everyone's going to see it. Everyone's going to talk about it on the internet, especially with like, you know, the rap girls. Everyone's ready to talk about face.
Right.
So it can be scary. But I think what I've learned, I think what you said, Pierre, about letting them kind of take a hand, and if there's something that they are really like, I have no ego about it. If someone likes their eyeliner a very particular way, and it's not even about the eyeliner, and it's about a need for them to feel like themselves and feel like control, take the eyeliner, girl.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
You know, it's my work, and as long as it's going to look good, and I can always fix and adjust, like you were saying, my happiness is client happiness.
Right.
Not that I'm going to let anyone go out looking really bad, but I'd rather have them feeling good than feeling scared, because a part of our job is not just the look, but we are the therapist.
Yes.
We are energetically preparing for them to be on camera.
Right.
And if it's, say, one of the rap girls doesn't look like herself and that's her brand, you're going to see it on her face. She might stop production. She might hire someone else and bring them in. I've been the hired pinch hitter that's come in last minute a few times. So I think it's like I have to find kind of, I think I'm very chill, I'm very relaxed, I'm very flexible, and I have no ego when it comes to things like that. Like, I just, for better or for worse, I just don't care enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I'd rather just have someone be
are the
Like you
same.
heard
happy,
say,
because like
if
it's
you
not
like
gonna
it, I like
understand. Like, to me, it's like it's not gonna matter whether the flick goes out a little bit up more or out
not.
a little
Yeah.
bit this way
Yeah,
more.
for
Like
sure.
that, no one is going to care or clock that
Right.
but me.
Right.
And the lights are very dim.
And then,
Right.
you know, but
Right.
like it, you know, I'd rather have that person feeling good. At the same time, I've been in situations where, I've had, you know, I would say overall, I've been really blessed with even my celebrity clients. My music clients have been really fab. And I think a part of why I am kept around is because it's not just my skill set, but it's also who I am, how flexible I am, my attitude.
100% agree.
I mean, it's like it's like 60-40 at this point.
Yeah.
60% is people liking being around you.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Especially when you get into celebrity, especially when you get into those high pressure environments.
Right.
So I think, you know, I'm really flexible, and you know, overwhelmingly, I've had such positive, great clients. A lot of them who I consider friends that I don't even work with anymore. We're just friends. And there have been times though where I've had really, really intense scenarios with people with power, musicians, whomever, threatening and stealing and doing things like that, or refusing to pay me my rate but sending out how to do makeup the way I do to other makeup artists that they work with. That was a crazy one. I was on a set last summer that made me cry real quick. It was like a quick 5 minute on day 2 because I was so frustrated. I think sometimes for me, especially being in a newer market, like when I was in Chicago, I was a big fish in a small pond, so I was pretty well known and pretty trusted. But sometimes I think being in a newer market, being here, there are sometimes, you know, people with deeper complexions, Black women, don't always want to trust me that I can do their makeup. And that's something that is totally okay. And that's never anything that I would make a client feel weird about, because that's so freaking real.
Right.
We've all seen it. We've all been there. We've all had to fix it. And so that's not something I would ever make anyone feel bad about. But I know that I'm able to speak to my kit, speak to my experience, show them my work, show them my wealth of clients that are deep skin. And, you know, and also, like, they hired me.
Yeah.
So at that point, there's almost like there is kind of nothing I can do if this person just really wants to have control over their image today and doesn't want to trust me that I know what I'm doing, even though they approved me, they hired me, they've seen my work. And yeah, there was a situation where the girl put on a foundation that was like olive green over what I had done on her. And it looked so bad. And she was, you know, wearing latex, so her body got really hot and the rest of her flushed red and her face was green. Yeah, I honestly, I had to, I did not take credit. I didn't take credit because it, you know, and I had a conversation with her team, and they were surprisingly very apologetic because they, it's like, I'm trying to elevate.
Yeah.
This is a really high level magazine editorial with a photographer that is a legend. I want to elevate. She shouldn't look the way that she looks in every Instagram post ever. This should be something different. But you have to, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's all about like the push and pull and keeping the rapport and the energy good, because like I'm not just going to ruin someone's energy for the day and be like, no, I'm not going to do it the way you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you'll always do is learn.
Yeah.
Like one thing you'll always do is learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually want to get into some business practices. Okay, now this has been happening where a lot of makeup artists are actually getting their kits stolen. It's happening more and more. I don't know. I see it on Facebook. I see it on Instagram. Like people are stealing kits out of trunks. You turn your back for 5 seconds, your kit is gone. So, obviously that's horrible. It's debilitating, obviously, because this is your livelihood. Do you guys have insurance on your kit?
I do.
I do.
You have insurance on your kit.
Tell me where to go.
So I do insurance called Beauty and Bodywork Insurance.
I have that.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
And it covers your kit up to $3 million.
I mean, I just
And
need the
I will.
Emily,
And
please, thank
it
you.
will also cover, it's really you putting your hands on someone at all to do any kind of work. So
Right.
it covers that too in case they get some kind of, I
right.
don't know.
So like liability
Yeah.
insurance as well.
It's
So I
general
have the
liability.
same. I have the
Hey,
same
girl.
one.
Boom.
Can you guys send us the link?
Yeah.
Yes.
Will do.
Yes, and I think honestly that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's one of those things where you're like, I should do this, and then shit
Something
happens. Let me
happens.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all of us, but then
maybe
you're
we
like,
should all do that.
shit.
That's
like,
wood laminate.
yeah.
You better knock on the floor.
Right. So beauty and body work. We'll put all of the information in the show notes.
Yes.
But yeah, and I also got. I mean, I live in an apartment, renters insurance.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
for sure. I have
yes,
that.
yes.
100%.
That's what I have.
I had to have it before I
Yeah.
could sign my.
Right.
It was
I
of
always
course.
figured I would just claim it under my apartment insurance, but then I had like my bags got lost flying once, and it was. Now I do air tags and all of my kit, all of my
Oh,
like
that's
keys,
smart.
everything
Yeah.
makes a huge difference for your peace of mind.
Right.
And it's just being like, no, I know you guys like haven't grabbed it, but I know it's in this airport, so go grab it. Like it's
Yeah.
right here.
It's right over there. Go get it.
But yeah, I definitely need to get on that because
Yeah.
if anything happened to my kid, I think at this point it would just be like, well, that's a wrap on Molly Gloss, you guys.
Right.
It's been great.
Right.
Like I've been doing this for 15 years. I do not have it in me to rebuild a kit
Oh,
from scratch.
No.
No.
Especially, Grishan did my kit, and I'm like,
Oops.
Grishan and Maywan.
Yeah.
So what about your favorite platforms for invoicing? I like Invoice to Go.
I like Invoice to Go too. I
I
use
use Tiny Invoice.
Unfortunate. Well, it's not unfortunate, but I actually have a template that I use on my computer that I send. I don't send necessarily electronically. I
Right.
send like as an attachment through
Oh,
email.
Okay. Do you find it hard to keep track of them though, because you have so many files?
Because what I do is I do yearly.
Okay.
So 2023.
And you just keep that. What about you? You said Tiny Invoice.
Yeah, I use this app called Tiny Invoice. It just like saves everything in there, so I'm just plugging in a few things,
That's dope.
sending it out automatically, tracks everything for me. I mean, I don't have that many invoices that I do anymore now that I'm signed, but
Right.
if I am occasionally assisting or someone accidentally ended up with a lip liner from my kid the other day, like then I'll do that. But Tiny Invoice is what I used before that, just because it made it very
Right.
easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
keep it in one place.
Yeah. So what do you think makes you stand out? Do you think having a signature style is important? Because like you were mentioning earlier, right? You could do bridal, fashion, blah, 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 blah. But really and truly, sometimes people get to know you because of a style of makeup that you do, and you sort of brand yourself that way.
Absolutely.
So it's sort of like you could become an expert in everything, but not a master of one. So what are you guys' opinion on having a signature style? And Annie, I'll start with you.
I think it's important. I remember when I first started, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be the most versatile artist so that I'd get booked for everything. And I realized that I couldn't because of that same thing. You won't finesse everything really well, so focus on a few things. And so for bridal, I did clean skin. but finding a way to finesse that so there's long wear without looking kiki. And that's what I love about what I do in bridal.
What about
I
you,
have
Karen?
to agree. Clean skin. Though the avenue that I'm in, I have to put on a little bit more because of the cameras and the lighting. But you still want it, for me, I still want it to look natural. Like, I don't care if it's 1,000 pounds of makeup, it still looks soft and natural. And I think also with your signature look, it comes with your style, because people are fascinated with how the whole brand looks for them. So if they makeup artist coming and looking crazy, they're going to use you because you're good, but in the beginning they won't trust you. Like, it's
Right.
almost like you have to dress up for an interview.
Right.
And then personality, how you make them feel, your vibe, your energy. I think that's also important as well, which goes into your signature look. Because once your clients sit in your chair, you really want them to just be relaxed and let you do your job. You want them to trust you. If they have to cry or spill out, like, for me, I think all of that is incorporated into your
Yeah.
signature style.
Definitely all encompassing. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think, like you were saying, it's not just about the literal work. It's also who you are and how you show up every day, whether that's your style, whether that's, the way that you're interacting and engaging with people. I think for myself, as someone with like ADHD, autism, like, I don't know how to act like anything else other than how I feel in the moment. And I think that can be such a blessing and a curse, but I think that's why I connect really well with people. I'm also just a Gemini, so that doesn't hurt. I can kind of just chat with anybody.
She has 3 personalities.
If I'm talking too much today, like, that's probably why. But I think, like, as far as the work goes, I think branding is really important. I hear a lot that people can look at my work and tell that it's my work. I think I have some, like, trademark things that I do.
Right.
I think, I'm always going to have, like, an annoyingly bright inner corner going on, similar to what I have on my face. Really, like, juicy skin. I think there's definitely, or, like, color blocked eyes. I think I definitely have a style that I really try to hone in on when it comes to my social media presence.
Yeah.
And kind of like what you were saying, like, I started out, or I still consider myself to be a very versatile artist, but only by force, because I was in a small market and I had to do any type of job that came up in order to work, because there just wasn't enough going around. So coming here, I did not have the normal track. Like, I didn't assist at all because there wasn't any of that culture there. And then, having such a varied, versatile portfolio, it is kind of hard, because it's like, okay, like, me and my agents are really going after the elevation and the fashion as far as, like, my Instagram portfolio goes. But it leaves me wondering, okay, but what about my sports clients?
Right.
What about my clean skin, my beauty e-com, the things that
My
are...
groceries.
Yes, the things that are not... Because my Instagram is very, like, fashion, fun, grunge, edgy. It's, like, not necessarily looks everyone would wear every day.
But the people that are not in those industries, they like that.
Yes.
They're like, oh, she's cool. Like,
Yes.
I want her to do my
Aesthetics,
makeup.
yeah.
And she's in fashion and she's a cool girl.
I totally
she's a it
get
girl.
that. I just want to, for me, it's always like figuring out, like, how do I display, obviously, like, this is the fashion, this is the fun, this is the brand. My brand is also that I love a check. My brand is also that I love to work. My brand is also that I love money. So how do I make sure my Nike, my Puma, my Adidas clients, I do MAC e-com, I've done Too Faced e-com, like, how do I make sure that those clients aren't necessarily alienated by how extreme everything is? So I think it's like, my brand is very extreme, but, like, every once in a while I'm going to put a really natural, it still might be a vibe, but it's going to be, like, clean makeup, clean skin.
Throw it into the mix.
Or on stories, or, you
That's
have
good
your
too.
Instagram and then you have your actual, like, website or agency portfolio, like, you want to have a brand, but keep in mind that you still want to show the breadth of what you can do too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's about finding the balance of, this is my brand, this is the hook, but let me show you everything else that I can also do really well.
That's kind of what I have to do, because sometimes it's
I
like, you
feel
go on
like
my Instagram, you're like,
you do all sorts of makeup.
Bitch do makeup. And I'm like, no, I still do my campaigns. I have so many jobs that I don't post, but
Same.
ever so often you'll see that your girl could do some skin. I have beauty clients, all of these things. And I wanted to touch on this really quick because Anya mentioned skin, Pierre mentioned skin, and of course we talked about this. But when you hear makeup artists say clean skin, it's just like, it's not that it's boring makeup. Clean skin is the hardest type of makeup
Trust
to
me.
do. So when Pierre is doing her TV and film, if this client, especially male clients, it's like you have to make them look like they don't have any makeup on. They might have 100 acne scars, which is totally fine.
Dark circles.
Dark circles. These guys, some of them might be, they might have a routine. Some of them might not. But when they get on camera, regardless if it's TV and they have to look real,
Flawless.
you have to figure out how to make that look good. And that is the hardest thing that I had to learn. Even when I think all of us had to learn how to make skin look like skin. You want a bride to look beat, but not too much.
Yes.
You want your client to look good on the red carpet, but not overdone. I want
Too
my
much
client
powder.
exactly. And like for me, if I have like a beauty shoot, I have to make the skin look like this is
Butter.
just her skin,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
just like that is the hardest thing. So if you're
Yeah.
listening to this and you are like, I want to learn how to do that, when I tell you focus on skin that you can know how to adjust it, you can make it look like there's nothing on it, because especially for fashion, they're like, if it's too much makeup, it's not the vibe.
You will not get hired again.
It's not the
Listen,
vibe. You would have to take it off.
Yes, my first ever time on set. First ever.
Yep.
Never assisted nothing. It was a L'Oreal thing, and I went in there and I was like, bam, 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 bam. And the director was like, take everything off. And I felt crushed because I was like, no, I could do makeup.
Right.
And he was like,
It's
not
so
it.
different.
It's so
That is not
different.
it.
I feel like I had to unlearn so much.
Absolutely.
So again, like I'm 33, but when I was coming up, we didn't have Instagram. We did not have YouTube. I fell in love with makeup on a beauty forum called Spectra.net.
Oh,
And it was, did you know? And it was
The
photo
girl
by
Spectra.
photo tutorials. It was like a Mac makeup forum site.
Wow.
And so I learned on counter. When I dropped out of college, I was studying film, and I was like, I really want to do makeup. I started working retail. I am,
Same.
a low income child of immigrants. If I wasn't in school, then I needed to be working, and I couldn't afford makeup school, and there weren't that many at the time either.
Same.
So I learned on counter. But what that means is when you are learning in a retail environment, they are teaching you how to put as much makeup on the
As
client as possible
possible.
because you want to sell it, the
Yes.
makeup.
Right.
It's a lot of layering. So when I started working on set in Chicago, I started doing actors' headshots. I had to unlearn so much. I had to basically beat out of me that makeup was supposed to be covering the entire face.
Right.
Less is more.
Absolutely.
Less is always more when it comes to skin.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to an editorial look, I feel like I might not always hit the mark, but my goal is always to do the most extreme look with the least amount of product,
Right.
the least amount of elements. It's always going to look better, more elevated, cleaner. It's just always going to look better, and the less is more.
Yeah.
It's easier to
100%
add
agree.
more than to
take a
take
whole
off.
face. Yes,
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So talking about products, I know this is such a hard question, but if you could only have one foundation in your kit, just give me the one foundation. What's the one foundation in your kit that if you had to choose one? Sorry, we gotta
Okay.
we gotta cut back.
Okay.
If I had to choose,
Yeah, I would say for bridal, just because of what I needed to do, I would say Lancome Tontidol. Yeah.
That's a good one.
So
Lancome
good.
Tontidol.
You should
Really?
try it. It's nice.
no.
What the heck?
Like I always
It's like-
remember it being around on counter, but
Yeah.
I need
so
that
good.
info.
Pear stress. Pear.
I'm gonna do the NARS Long Radiant. That's what it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah,
Or
Radiant Longwear, I think.
Like Radiant Longwear.
Mhm.
I'll do that. I like the shade range. I like how it looks on the skin, and I like that it is buildable.
Mm.
It is
So are we
buildable.
talking about for like ourselves or for our kids?
For your kids. One foundation.
She's
I
like,
want to say MAC Face and Body, but it's not versatile enough if it was my one foundation.
Yeah.
I might also say NARS, but I'm gonna say Sheer Glow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, Sheer Glow, since I was 18 in 2008 on counter with NARS, I've been using Sheer Glow. every time over the past 15 years, whether on myself or on someone else, anytime it's been a while and I put that foundation on, I'm like, dear God, why did I ever put you down?
I know.
And
like
if I
soft
needed to
matte too is
mattify
such
it, I
a
could.
Oh, I love
girl.
soft matte.
Soft
But I
matte
use
is
soft
like-
matte honestly
NARS.
for myself. And I don't have it in my kit.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have it. This
want
is
it.
so hard for me because I am a foundation
Yeah.
junkie.
Same.
Next question.
No.
No, that was hard.
You know what? Because I could mix this down with like Shara products, I really do love the Estee Double Wear.
Oh, yeah, okay.
True.
Like Estee Double Wear mixed with Face and
Face
Body,
and Body,
or the Double Wear
yes,
Share.
yeah.
Those two, that combination.
I never got into that. Or the Lancome.
Really?
I've never gotten into those.
It works well.
I haven't
for-
used
What shade are you in, NARS? Macau?
Oh, wait, is it Macau? Yeah, it's Tahoe in the winter months. And then
That makes sense.
is it Macau for the long wear? I'm gonna have to look it up. I just know it's MD3,
Okay.
medium D3.
I think that is it. Yeah.
I think
I
so
think
too.
we're kind of close to, we're kind of almost the same shade.
I started my career on the NARS counter, so in my head I'm like going way back in the Rolodex.
Okay, so what brand, in your opinion, is killing it right now?
Danessa Maritz.
Period. Danessa.
Yes.
Danessa.
Danessa.
Yes.
Hey, Danessa, actually, I need to
Danessa
reach
Boo,
out.
I
Danessa.
only have a few things.
And
Yeah.
Danessa's
I
going
only
to be on
have
the
a few things. I'm available.
So
Hi.
she chose Janessa. Who else do you think?
Can we not choose the same one? Hi, yummy skin tint. Oh,
I know, yummy.
Hey,
We just-
Danessa.
yes. Oh my
I'm doing the Olympics. I need some products. Call me.
Oh, she's doing it. You going to Paris?
Okay.
I'm going to Paris.
I'm not
I'm so
doing the Olympics, but
excited.
can you still go?
I'm just going as a spectator.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's amazing.
not
Congrats.
thinking. What were we talking about?
What the
brand
one
that's
brand that
killing
you
it?
think is killing it right now?
I am not gonna lie. I have really been enjoying a lot of the Say releases. I love the bronzer. I love the new Glossy Bounce lip glosses that just came out. Those are really nice. I've really been into their products this year overall. I like the foundation. I like the concealer. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that's like really impressed me.
I would say Juvia's Place.
I would have to
sis.
agree.
There
No,
also.
Listen,
Juvia,
those
y'all call
cream,
me
those
too.
new cream bronzers, they're
You've been
incredible.
using that, yes.
It
you
is
have been
so
liking those.
good. You don't understand. I like it more than the NARS.
Do you like it more
The
than the Say
bronzers?
cream bronzers?
Yes, because it's creamier, and I like those. But I'm not even exaggerating.
You're gonna make me go to the store.
No, even if you just get
Yeah.
one color, maybe check out Amber, that shade.
Because I have the powders.
The
And
the
I
duo
love-
bronzers,
oh my
all
God.
of their lips,
Love.
like.
I
Listen,
literally
their
was gonna
color
go to Ulta
range
after
too in
this. This
terms
is
of
so bad for me.
eyes is
But okay, so if you don't want to spend money on Rare Beauty cream blush, their blush is
wild.
just as pigmented, or if
Pigmented.
even more.
I-
Their
Buildable.
cream blush.
I mean, I'm not debating it because I use Juvia's Place in my kit for everybody. The eyeshadows, like
I made a
bronzers.
palette.
Creamy.
I made
oh
a
my
palette
God.
with the bronzers because I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
I need it in my
yeah.
kit.
Yeah, I'm
Literally.
definitely gonna probably have to go to Ulta. Thank you, Jaleesa.
Yeah,
I
got you.
and Kosas too. I would
Oh,
say.
I love my little
yeah.
course. You know they have the thin brow pencils now, like the Maybelline ones.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Ami Collet.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
My,
That brow pencil, that
Yes.
soft black brow pencil.
Yes. It's like, and it's super fine.
I just ran out of that in my kit, and I am buying it because I'm just like, I can't. I can't. I literally cannot live without this one particular brow
It's
pencil.
such a good
But I
shade.
also love the brushes. If you do not have the
Yes.
brushes,
Oh no, I
Yes.
have to try these brushes.
Ooh,
you
it's
have-
true.
You have the Ami Coley brushes.
No,
I
don't.
bought a
They-
second set because I was so the foundation, the
well,
concealer,
The concealer is
softest.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's like a little magic eraser. It's
It's
just
so beautiful. Yeah.
How about all y'all call us?
I know, right? No, it's so.
The highlighter I love.
Well, you know, shameless plug. I do all of the campaigns.
She does.
Oh my
Period.
gosh. Also, shout out
Yeah.
Jara.
Yeah, such okay. We're gonna talk forever about this. All right, so okay, so most makeup artists actually don't use primer, and I feel like this is an ongoing debate online, right? You know, if you spend a little extra time on skin prep, you don't have to use primer. But do I use primer sometimes? I do.
Yes,
Not
me
all the
too.
time, but I want to know your opinion as a pro. Do you use primer?
Yes.
No.
I want to hear from you.
I
here.
use primer. It depends. For TV, yes. I use primer because I don't necessarily have a lot of time to go in and touch up. And obviously, my client doesn't have a little kit that she can touch up in her bag, in her purse if she goes somewhere. So I need to have something that's another layer to help the makeup grip to the face so that when they're saying 45 seconds to touch up, I literally try to take less than that so that I am not rushing, grabbing my stuff, running out of the frame.
Right.
So for TV, yes. But for regular day-to-day, like if I'm doing someone that's going to a wedding or something like that, no. I just do good skin prep.
What's your chosen primer?
Actually, the Milk Hydro Grip.
Yeah, I was going to
primer.
say.
I use it 2 times.
Use
Primer only 2 times. Carnival Monday and Tuesday.
That's it? Not even on your brides.
And on brides.
Okay.
Who not just shine, but they sweat.
Sweat,
like
yes.
the sweat just comes. And for those, one size. That
It stop this. I keep saying stop the sweat, but it's not that. That's an alcohol product.
yeah,
I forget the name.
it's
I always mix it
it
up.
says oh god, something to sweat.
Yeah,
Like-
something with sweat.
It's like the light pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
one size. Too.
And those are the only 2 times.
That
The
spray.
spray?
One size?
Or-
Okay, so you are now reincarnated. It's a
Ooh.
new world.
Oh Lord.
And this doesn't have to be something in your kit. But if you had to be one product, what product would you be?
Red lipstick.
Okay. I would be a concealer.
Which one?
I would be Inar's Radiant.
I would be Nas Soft Matte because she is slept on, but she's a heavy hitter.
Yes, she is. She
And you
is.
gotta know how to deal with her. If you don't know about it, you're just not that girl.
And
Like-
you can use her all of it.
All over the place.
yes.
Versatility is there. Shade range is there. Like Nas Soft Matte has to be one of my favorite concealers ever because I don't color correct every day. I don't have time to do all of that.
Yeah.
I need a full coverage concealer that's going to cover my hyperpigmentation around my mouth and I'm running out the door. Most of the time, I'm doing my makeup in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do all of that. I'm sorry.
Uber.
And literally,
In
so
the
like,
Uber.
what we doing? What product would you be?
Mine would be a toss-up between like a reddish brownish rouge or like
Girl, we need
Yeah.
which one?
She's like mixing
She's
up
like,
the palette.
there's this okay, either you know what? Glossier Cloud Paint
Oh,
that is- yeah.
in
Okay.
Storm. The reddish brownish.
Yes, that's
Not
a
the
pretty
purpley
color.
berries, the reddish brownish. I on my eyes, cheeks, and lips, I could put that on, and I feel like a Renaissance painting.
Yeah.
love
I think
that.
with my coloring and just
Yeah.
that brownish
Right.
rouge that's not too brown but not too red. I have the blush on today actually. It's just I love it.
What about you, Pierre?
I'll be a red lipstick. And the red lipstick that I will be at the moment is the Fenty, the new Fenty one in the silver. I can't even remember the name.
Oh yes, with
and
the pointy
silver,
tip.
Oh my God. I have that on
You
now.
don't find it
Oh
runs?
my god.
Nope.
Yeah.
I literally put
Some
it
people-
on once.
Do you like the new one?
The one in the silver.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
you were talking
So
about
it's
one the
the-
pointy
No,
tip.
no,
and
no, no,
the whipped one kind of.
Yes,
whipped
that one.
formula.
Yeah.
It
I put that
stays,
on.
right? It's
Yeah.
like
Literally goes
yeah,
nowhere.
lasts all day.
I have it on now. I've been drinking matcha. Sometimes
Listen, the amount of brands I have to
I've
call
been
you all after
drinking.
today.
I don't know about you, but I am loving this conversation. As a pro artist of over a decade, I get not only the best beauty tips from other artists, but also tips on how to run life and a business while trying not to lose your mind in the process. Now, this episode is so nice, we have to do it twice. We didn't even realize so much time had passed, so stay tuned for part 2. And if you're loving this podcast, it would mean the absolute world to leave a rating and review as it helps to get this podcast out to new ears and eyes. I'll catch you in the next one.